Okay, Anna, I'd like you to tell me a little bit about how you started the course.
The first thing that I did in the course was you gave us an assignment, and it was about different. We had different little words and themes, and to each theme, we were supposed to respond with a particular idea that we had. And my first two pieces was the dragon fruit girl and the alien, which was this was a response to human faces and human features, and this was a response to devil and angel. I didn't go exactly with devil and angel, as you can see. I went with alien. To me, it's sort of because of course I've never really seen a devil or an angel, and this was what from childhood memory was as closest to it, because I've seen the movie. It's a pretty famous movie, and I looked at different pictures and different movie shots, and I interpreted into sort of it's sort of like a movie poster looking of an alien from the movie. The dragon fruit girl is a piece to the human, to the face, to the theme of faces, and well, it mainly came through as I wanted to draw a face in a very unrealistic way. I'm very fascinated with anime and comic style of drawing, and so that's what I came out with. But it felt a bit empty to me, and funny thing is, the whole dragon fruit came through my favorite drink. It's a dragon fruit juice, and I sort of, while I was painting it, I was drinking the juice, and it sort of led me to interpreting the dragon and the fruit, because in reality, to me, the fruit doesn't really look like a dragon. So, and I sort of made it like a tattoo on her neck, which sort of comes out and then holds the dragon fruit, and that's sort of what my first pieces were about.
Yeah, and both very personal to you.
Yes, they were.
Excellent. Okay, so these pieces so far have been pretty much a response to the assignments that I've given you. Show me some pieces which are more personal to you, that you basically came up with the idea and the planning for.
One of those would be my jellyfishes. Over the summer, I traveled around, and I was in Spain, and in one of the aquariums that I visited, I saw jellyfishes, and since childhood I've been fascinating with them because they're very beautiful creatures, but they're very dangerous creatures to some extent, depending on which ones. And I sort of made sketches of it and made little, almost like little copies in oil of this sort of, but in different colors. I wanted to create texture.
Yeah, they're really
texture. Especially this one is really texture. This is not as much, because this is my first try on of drawing it. But I still sort of, if you look back, it sort of has this texture of yellow and whites. It's really bright. I mean, to me, since childhood, I mean, they're not that bright unless you illuminate them. But if you look in the aquarius, they're usually illuminated, and they become really, really bright and really attractive. And they sort of attracted me to them, and I wanted to try and see if I can paint something like that. And sort of that what came out of it was the two jellyfishes, which, well, I have a lot more, but this is the one that I like the most.
Where are the others? Are they?
No, I have a little sketch over there, but that's sort of like in green. It's in green, because I mean, they're different jellyfishes, they're different types. So.
Okay, choose something else to tell us about from this exhibition. Okay, Anna, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about this painting called Under.
Well, this piece is inspired by an American artist. Her name is Alyssa Monks, and her whole theme is about people with water and human beings in relation with water. She does a lot of paintings of people in the shower, just seeing just the face and the water on the face, and she does things very similar to this as people going underwater or being in the bathtub. And I wanted to try something like that because it's the way she paints it is really realistically, and I'm not prone to draw realistically, and this was sort of something that I wanted to do, was to have something very technical and classical way of painting, as my style is completely opposite of this.
All right. So Anna, this is a very finished piece, and I'm sure there must have been quite a lot of process involved before you got to this stage. So can you tell us a little bit about the process?
Well, I started out as copying Alison Monk's pieces. One particular one I called Charade, and it's one of her well-known piece of a woman underwater. Page 41, volume 2. And I sort of copied a couple of them, and so how I can create water effect. And I went on by taking pictures of myself and of water and working off those pictures and sort of creating my own pose of something similar, but I wanted it to be very similar, but at the same time I didn't want to copy her work. So I went on and took my own pictures and did my own effects on it and worked off it. And when I was done, I thought that I could create more watery effect by using different things like varnish, and specifically in this piece I used varnish all around the face, except here. I mean, there are bits and pieces of varnish on the lips and on the hair, because I wanted to look like it's there's water on it. So I put the varnish over there to make a contrast between the very matte and what you can see underwater, like over the water. And sort of, if you look, to me it's really realistic, the face, but underwater it's sort of it's not abstract, but it becomes really blurry. And that's how the water has an effect. And I sort of went on and took a lot of pictures, see how the water distorts like hands and features of the body, and sort of that's what I came up with. And also another artist that came into this was Pollock and his splashes. Specifically, I just added some splashes here and here. My initial idea was to have her in a bath and have sort of splashes dripping down and into water. But as I started, I created the face a bit big, so there's no space for the bath. But I went on and put paint into the water to see how it looks in reality, and I sort of made it coming out.
Cool. Thank you very much. Okay, Anna, what would you like to talk about next?
Well, I would say my one piece called Postcards, and it's a sort of reflection of my own culture, where I come from. I'm Russian, and I want to be very stereotypical about how different cultures are viewed. And as you know, Russia is also Asia and Europe, and it has both influence from Asia and Europe. And the whole idea of Matryoshka is as a traditional Russian doll piece. I wanted to put it in the piece and have stereotypical views of different cultures. For instance, here Asia, and Matryoshka is in yukata, which is traditional Japanese clothes, and surrounded by Asian Asian places, and like the Great Chinese Wall and the Golden Palace in Japan and the mountains, and that's sort of stereotypical, that sort of things that you think of when you first think of a country is those. And the same thing happens in here. In Europe, if you think of France, you think of Tour Eiffel. If you think of England, Big Bell, no, Big Bang. That what I was going to is to show sort of influence on me as a Russian of different sides of the continent, and I sort of did it as a postcard because in Russia it's really traditional to have this type of postcards and send them off, and like I have different little ones, sort of they are jointed, connected by different postcards, and like this is a traditional scene from a Russian postcard from a famous movie and things like that. So sort of like old memories and things that I've found and I looked around in my parents. Sort of, they have a lot of books and things that they keep, and I just went on and looked through them, and like I found some of those inside of those, and sort of from the past. That's how you would represent different countries, at least in Russia. And like I sort of added things like stamps and just like the actual Russian stamp that you put on letters and things, and sort of went on with that. And it's not very technical, but it's sort of very straight on forward. That's what I wanted to show, that like this is how we are seen, but we are all influenced by different sides, and that's sort of what
And although it's on two canvases, it's
Yes.
one piece.
It is one piece, and I initially started with one piece, and I'm keeping it as one piece.
Okay.
But it'd be very interesting to see it one day, maybe separated and have it separate. I think they stand on their own quite well. I mean, they don't have to be one piece.
Great. Thank you. Okay, where shall we go next? Okay, Anna, could you tell us about your version of Bar at the Folies Bergère?
Well, this piece, I actually saw it in real life in the Courtauld Gallery when I was there, and it is the last piece the last biggest piece Edvard Munch painted, and it's really interesting to me because it's very distorted in some ways, and it's really realistic, at least his version, because the figure that is standing, she's standing in front of you, and there's a mirror behind where the reflection should be right behind her, but we get to see the reflection sort of here, and it's sort of like almost as if the mirror is curved, but we don't get to see if it is. The actual figure is of a bartender. She's a bartender, and she has blonde hair, and she's a typical woman of that time, wearing the typical clothes, sort of all closed up. And I wanted to update it, but at the same time I wanted to keep it as keep hints of things that were the same in the painting. So what I did, I updated the girl into sort of our time. And like I worked on my book, volume 2, page 29. I have like very different versions. Like her is a very futuristic, like an avatar from a movie, and things like this. And so I updated different drinks and sort of updated the drinks from the old drinks, like champagne and things like that. Which now what we drink is like vodka or like Coca-Cola and things, and instead. In the original piece, like she has fruit bowl and sort of different champagnes around. But what I mean, as culture change and things like that, we are more prone to drink beer and things like that. So that's what I did. I updated it, but I left the reflection as it is, as Monet intended it to be. But the only thing that I changed in my reflection was exactly her, because she is the one that is sort of focused. And what I wanted to say with that, the original one, she looks very bored in a well, she looks like she doesn't really want to be there. And I wanted to keep the same thing, because that's the same situation now. People who work like in a bar and things, they might be not satisfied with their job, and it's the same. Even though time has gone by, we're still in the same situation. Things updated, things change around us. But we're human, and we're all sort of the same. kind of being the same thing.
Mm.
So yeah.
Great, thank you. Okay, Anna, we have a few minutes left, so I wondered if there are other things in the exhibition that you'd like to talk about that we've not discussed yet.
Well, one particular piece would be, it's called Old and New, and it's of a wheel. I painted it of an actual wheel that was in a classroom, so it was an observational. But I changed a few things because it wasn't as broken up as I made it. And the canvas, the shape of the canvas sort of led me into wanting to paint something circle, something I sort of went with it, and I painted it with a gouache on canvas, and it was sort of, well, it's not a media that you would usually use on canvas. It's more paper media, and I can see why you wouldn't do it, because it's sort of on canvas it starts to crumble up. But I'm pretty happy with the effect that it came out, because it sort of makes it more realistic and sort of gives it a feel of how I wanted it to be.
Great, thank you very much, Anna.